Finally, guys, I am able to do Operation Arsenal. This is very rare for me, waiting until the next day to record my thoughts. I just wasn't able to do it yesterday, and I actually missed pretty much the entire game. So frustrating when it happens, but it's life. I've obviously watched the highlights, extended highlights, and wow, we had quite a game, didn't we? Basically, a tale of two halves from what I could see. We were really dominant, doing really well, playing that beautiful, fluid football in the first half. And then in the second half, I mean, you could argue we weren't the best team and maybe Wolves could have had a little bit more. But then again, I do see the fact that Odegaard had an absolutely fantastic game and wasn't rewarded with the assists. I do feel like Nketiah's chance should have scored. Trossard should have scored. Jesus had multiple chances, should have scored. So on another day, we win this very comfortably. But yeah, we definitely weren't as good in the second half as we were in the first. So we went with our usual 4-3-3 setup. Trossard instead of Havertz, which was interesting, actually. When I saw that, I did question why, seeing as Havertz is finally kicking into gear and doing things for us, doing well. He's a confidence player. I'm not sure why he didn't start today, but do you know what? Trossard did very well. He does remind me of a more advanced Santi Cazorla. I don't know if I'm the only one that feels like that. He's very good with both feet. He's tricky. He's quite small, low centre of gravity. Of course, Santi Cazorla, at the end of his Arsenal career, was effectively playing as a central midfielder. I remember the days of him playing next to Coquelin, who really helped because he was such a defensive player and it let Santi go forward. With Trossard, he's a winger converted to central midfielder in this system, where he's basically another attacking midfielder along with Odegaard, because Rice can do the job of two players. So not a bad idea. I've got nothing against Trossard starting. Of course I don't, but it's just a shame that Havertz was the one who had to come out because he has been very good for us, and long may that continue. Martinelli coming off the post, very unlucky. Saka took his goal extremely well. And Odegaard's goal, oh, I wish I could show it. There might be a way I can... Does this, if I click this? No, unfortunately not. Wait, that's the wrong goal. It was this one here. I guess I could show you with my mouse if you haven't seen it, but a pass kind of around here from Zinchenko. No, hang on. How did it work? Zinchenko was over here. He's given it to Jesus, who's given it back to Zinchenko in this area. It's a lovely 1-2. And then it's been pulled back to this position here where Odegaard, I mean, that is his zone, isn't it? And he just tucks it away. And it might just be one of the most beautiful goals we've scored this season. The interchange between Zinchenko and Jesus, they actually went and celebrated the goal together whilst everyone else went with Odegaard. And that's how good it was. And all the players were like, it was a really, really nice team goal. Very nice to see that go in. And of course, as usual, you'll look at the stats and think, wow, how haven't we scored more? I think stats do lie sometimes. It wasn't that convincing from what I could tell in the second half. And I've got your comments in as well. Should we talk about Wolves? My granddad's team. I've been texting with him. It's tough, really, because I feel like Wolves, they're absolutely a good side. They're a good unit. They've got some really good players. I'm a huge fan of this Bellegarde guy. Bellegarde, really good signing. Dawson in defence. I know he's a bit older, but so experienced. And I like that they're brave with the ball, and they've been very unlucky this season with VAR decisions. You could argue that half of the scandalous VAR calls we've seen this season involve Wolves. They've been very unlucky, and to only get one goal today, it's difficult really, because I don't want to say they deserved to win today. They didn't, but they deserved more. Cunha took his goal so well. Terrible lapse of concentration from Zinchenko, who I do think is very, very error-prone in defence. I do wonder if sometimes, especially when Timber is fit and when White and Tomiyasu are competing for their position, I know White has still been in and out of the team through injury, I do wonder if Zinchenko could move into midfield and play in that role, but we'll see what happens there. I just feel like when Timber comes back, he could dominate that left-back position. I know he's not typically a left-back, but we saw him play there when we first got him, and wow, he did very well. Very versatile player. But talking of Wolves, and by the way, this table is obviously updated from today's game. We've just seen Tottenham draw with Man City. Let me try and get the whole table in. There we go. I think Wolves will finish in that kind of 10th to 14th position. I don't really see them climbing above top 10, but I don't see them falling away. They should easily be on 20 points if you take away some of the VAR decisions that have gone against them. It's unlucky, it really is, but they will be absolutely fine. And actually, before we move on and talk about your comments, I do want to talk about some of the other results today. I mean, I don't want to do really quick maths here and get it wrong, but it's well over 20 goals today. And geez, we've had some absolute corkers. And then, of course, yesterday's results, a 5-0 win for Burnley, huge for them. Massive win for Newcastle. It's not easy going there. I saw people laughing at Arsenal, and we did pretty well there. I think we got very unlucky with a VAR triple decision that went against us, rightly or wrongly, and we didn't get rolled over. And I think arguably Newcastle could have won that game by more. Brentford with a 3-1 win against Luton. Everton obviously starting this season pretty well, but obviously getting the 10-point deduction has really hurt them. So let's get your comments in. James says, first half was excellent. Odegaard, Saka, amazing throughout the game. Should have been around 5, but our finishing was lacklustre, especially in the second half. Don't think Zinni is the main man, potentially Timber. Seems to be sharing the same thoughts as me. Very good performance. Sadly, no clean sheet. I did think Raya was brilliant from what I saw. A couple of big moments in the game where, I mean, if he's not on top of his game, we concede. Simple as that. And I truly believe that Ramsdale has done nothing wrong in this situation. I just think Raya is the better goalkeeper. It is just what it is. And I'm hearing that Newcastle are interested. So 80 million. That's our January price. Then we had Ruben say, we won the first half, lost the second half. Saka is world class, no debate. It was a really well taken goal. Need to get better finishing. Get better at finishing up games comfortably. Hope Tommy is all right. Yeah, he came off injured, didn't he? I've heard it could be just a bit of fatigue, but then I've read also it could be his calf. So that's worrying. It would be a couple of weeks. Linkibsy says, Arteta coached a 5-goal victory, but the players weren't clinical. I do find these comments funny. Okay, yes, Arteta got the plan right, and the players maybe didn't do it perfectly in action. But how do you coach a 5-0 but not win 5-0? You know, he coached a 2-1 win. The game changes every second. Every time a pass is made, every time a shot is taken, the tactics need to change, and Arteta makes different decisions. But yeah, of course, I get the sentiment. And if our players were better in front of goal yesterday, we would have scored more goals. It is as simple as that. JP says, genuinely think Tommy deserves to be our starting right back. He's so good. I agree. I think at the moment it's going to be tough for White to get back in. I mean, if Tomiyasu's injured, then of course that's going to be a problem, and Ben White will happily slot in, and I won't have a problem with that. But Tommy has come in and done so well, winning Player of the Month and then putting in multiple performances with assists. He's definitely better going forward than Ben White, if you ask me. And I don't think he's worse than Ben White defensively. I think his overall package is pretty similar to Ben White. I just think he's got a bit more of an intelligent football brain. And I know that sounds disrespectful. I'm not saying Ben White's not smart, but Tommy he pops up in these positions and he's finding, I think, little gaps better than Ben White does to play the ball into. I think White sometimes makes better runs and he finds space overlapping Saka very efficiently. But Tomiyasu just seems to have the edge when it comes to creating. And that's obviously a big part of that position for us. If we've got the ball down the left side and Tommy can break forwards, other way around, he can come back and defend. He's got a very strong left foot as well. I like him. He's a very good player. And there were rumours recently of Bayern being interested. So I'm hoping we tie him down, give him a new contract. But we spent the whole season saying amazing things about Saliba and also Gabriel getting a lot of credit. But we do need to talk about Tomiyasu more. He has been superb recently. And then lastly, we've got another tweet coming from Fada here saying Odegaard coming a bit deeper for the ball is the way forward. Him being able to turn into a bit of space without being instantly closed down was so good for us. Too bad Nketiah and Trossard weren't able to finish those amazing chances. Yeah, when I think, going into the last few games where maybe Odegaard hasn't been at his best, we've missed those passes. That there's a very Odegaard type pass that he does. And it's often very central. It splits the defenders and it's always perfectly weighted. He's very good at that. And it just wasn't happening. And, we've heard that he's not been very well. He's had a few health issues, but also he had a concussion. I think that happened in training. He just hasn't been himself. And he needed a game like today where he was comfortably man of the match for me. He pulled everything together. He's just a world-class player on his day. We need to see more of that. But yes, we're going to finish off by looking at the table properly because it's a glorious sight. After the Man City draw with Tottenham, we are now 2 points clear of Liverpool, and Man City are in third. And they've now drawn 3 games in a row. That is rare. Very, very rare. And they've conceded, I think it's 10 goals in the last 4 games. That is not a title-winning side. Form-wise, no, they will obviously improve and they will do better. But to put that into perspective, I think 10 goals conceded in 4 games. I mean, that's mid-table form defensively. And this is with all of their players fit. I mean, have they got a defender out? Was Stones injured for a while? I can't remember. But what I'm saying is it just goes to show that even the best teams can have dips in form like this. And we need to take advantage of it. We've got the best defensive record in the league. We're almost one of the best attacking sides in the league, despite all of the people highlighting our lack of threat sometimes. But, 29 goals scored. We're up there in the top 5, top 6 scorers. We do need to get a striker in. I still believe that. I think eventually we will get another midfielder in. We're linked with Palhinha today from Fulham. I don't know where that's come from. But quietly and confidently, we're grinding results out. 10 wins from 14. We've only lost 2 games this season. We have just been drawn Liverpool in the FA Cup round 3, which kind of sucks. But at least it's a home game. But, what I'm trying to say is that we could lose another one in a cup competition. And if we lose to Liverpool and we put a rotated side out, I won't be too upset. But then again, we're capable of winning the FA Cup this season. We're very capable of winning the FA Cup. But that's it for today. Again, apologies for not getting this up sooner. I've had an absolute mental 24 hours. But should be good to get back into the swing of things tomorrow for the Girona career mode. So thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.